I'm not getting the YouTube live, Matt.
It should be live. It takes 20
it's
seconds.
live on YouTube.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to pop up a quick disclaimer on the screen. So this event will be recorded. It'll be streamed to our YouTube live channel. If you prefer not to be recorded, we ask that you kindly leave now. And also, if you could possibly mute and disable your videos whilst the call is on. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Tamsin. I'm the curator of Fashion Open Studio. We've been having a great morning so far with lots of creative ways of working with denim and a whole history of denim. We are now going over to Michelle Lowe and her studio in Whitechapel in East London. And we're just going to knock on the door actually because she's got some family members inside with her, and we're going with Camera and her son who's going to film this. Hi Michelle, can we come in?
Hi Tamsin, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Welcome. Hi. Welcome to my studio, and this is Lily and Hattie that are going to help with making the denim cuff. My son is doing the photography. Can you see us?
Yeah, we can see you. Hi everyone.
Okay, fantastic. So did you get a view of the studio?
Show us around.
Okay. I think slow camera. Slow. Is he going too fast?
Yeah, do it a bit slower so we can really see everything. Is this so? This is where you work, Michelle?
This is where I work. My studio's in Whitechapel, above Whitechapel Tube. So if you hear the train going by, yeah, that's you can see it outside the window there. And yeah, we're right on the market actually, right above the Whitechapel market, which is very strangely not happening, obviously because of the coronavirus. So so welcome everyone. It's really great that you're here. What we're going to do is show you how to make a denim cuff. So this is the piece that we've been working on, which is using a sort of folding technique and also using ISKO denim, which this denim is actually gorgeous to work with, by the way. So we did little hand poppers here, and it can be put on, and this is the way it's worn. So we're going to show you the various stages. Here's my materials, and I've got some of the ISKO denim and some leather offcuts. By the way, I get my leather offcuts at Alma, which is a leather place in Whitechapel, and we get all the offcuts off of their furniture. So they have great big bins of offcuts that you can buy, and they weigh, and you can buy the bags of them. And then these are some ribbons. I have tons and tons of ribbons that I recycle, and they're from all over the world, from Norway, Austria, Canada, Japan, etc., Hong Kong. So I have loads and loads of ribbons that I'm pretty obsessed with them. So I think I gave you a toolkit, things that I would suggest that you could use for the task. And we have a cutting board. I think you need to slower. Glue. You need a cutting blade, scissors, measuring tape, thread, needles, and of course, I call them snaps. I don't know what you call them, poppers or press studs. These are the sew-on ones, which I wouldn't normally use, but for a project like this where you're going to do it at home, at least then you can sew them on. And it's quite nice because you can make a hand stitch, which shows that it's been put on by hand. So that works quite well, and you can buy them in any shop. You don't have to have special machinery, which is kind of great. So I'm just going to go through the technique. Maybe you can put the thing down, and then in the meantime I'm going to ask Lily and Hattie if they can start to work on some of the parts, because there's various different parts to make the piece. So the first thing you need to start with is a base. So this is the base, and I'm gonna put this across. This is the pattern for the base, and you just need to make a straight base. We've done actually 8 centimeters wide by 15 centimeters around. Obviously the wrist is quite small, and we've left the textured part and then put a flat placket on the back. That way you can adjust it to your size. You can have someone help you to adjust your placket so that it can fit your wrist according to your arm or your wrist size. So there's a little bit of flexibility and if you've got a bit of help, but the main decoration is what you have on the front. And also see, if you put it next to your body, it's also flat. So it works out quite well. So what I would suggest is about, as I said, 15 centimeters long and about 8 centimeters high. And that gives you enough space to do the origami folding as well. I've created a pattern here with these 2 boxes. And the 2 boxes are putting cuts in your leather. Well, we've used leather offcut for this because you can cut it and you can pull the origami through, and it stays, it's static. So I'm actually going to have Lily start one of the folding, which we'll look at in the middle, but she's sitting there not wondering what she's doing. So I'm going to have her start doing some of the folding. This has already been cut. And actually, we've already chosen, in fact, it's Lily's design, already chosen the ribbon design. So this is the beginning. So we've got the flat piece. Then we've already cut the slashes, which are about 4 millimeters apart. And they are 2 centimeters long. They're the width of the fabric. So this is the base. It's already created. And this is where we've made a design decision. So we picked out different ribbons and created an edge, which will end up being part of the decoration. And it's already been cut here. So I'm going to have Lily start to do the origami folding. So the next step, after you've got the, she's going to start doing the folding. So you can already see this is one of the pieces where the origami is already finished. She's done the 2 layers of origami folding. We've actually added the this really cute, really beautiful fringing, actually denim fringing. This denim is gorgeous, by the way. It just folds beautifully. I don't know whether it's got linen in it. It is just lovely to work with, and you get a gorgeous little bit of fraying. So it's really got a lovely look. We've added a little bit of ribbons, and this one is ready actually for finishing and placket. So I'm just going to go on to the plackets, and then I'm going to have Hattie help bag out the plackets. So the way we've done the placket is, here's a little placket pattern which is cut on the fold. So it's cut on the fold. This is the actual piece with seam allowance. I'm going to cut the corners. The corners are always difficult with, this has already been sewn, or it's a little bit, otherwise it's going to be difficult for bagging out. So this is going to be bagged out to create this. I'm just going to cut, I'm going to pass this to Hattie, and she's going to turn it out. There you go, thank you. And
move the camera so you can see that on a.
Yeah, are we okay, Tamsin, and what we can see?
Yeah, this looks good.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, because I'm not sure what you can see or what you can't see. So this is now ready to bag out. I'm going to pass that along as well. Yes, yes. She's just asked for something to push the corners out. Yeah. Yeah. Great. So this is the, sorry. So the placket pattern, you can do, by the way, a straight placket, just a straight line. I've done mine slightly curved because the wrist is curved. So this way, when it lays on the body, it follows the line of the arm. But you can do it straight. It's just a little bit more. It's a little bit more subtle. The fit is a little bit better. It depends on the shape of your arm as well, and how tall or how tall you are. So the next step, if I carry on, these have been done at a pretty good level. So what I'm going to show you how to finish the ends. So already the folding has been done, and we've got the ribbon here. And what I've done on the back as well is put ribbon as well, just so that it has a really lovely finish. If you look at this one inside, you just have a really pretty finish. It looks really clean with all of your beautiful folding showing. So it just looks better. I like a nice finish actually. So I'm going to show you how to do the ends here, and then I've already glued this, so I'm going to cut this off, and then I think actually we need to look at the folding technique. I'm gonna, oh great, so here's our plackets actually. So the other thing, I'm kind of skipping around, is here's our denim for the folding technique. So maybe we should look at the folding technique right now. I'm kind of jumping around a bit here. Can we, Lily, can you maybe put yourself here, and then we can show them how to do the folding technique?
Do you want me to zoom in?
Yes, if that's possible. And then I'm thinking, what we could have you do is maybe cut a couple more of those. We're going to cut some more plackets, by the way. Okay, so let's have a look. So what she's created are these small little origami triangles that start to create the body of the cuff. So if you want to show them your technique.
So sometimes it's a bit hard to like get it started once it's very inspired. But start off by folding it that way. Or maybe it's that way, but I need to just see. And then you fold it again, so it makes like a little triangle. And then fold it again. And then flatten out the edges. So it's like that.
It's like a little teepee.
Yeah. And then you can fold it through. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's the right way. And then pull it out the other side so it becomes like that. So yeah, you have to pull out the whole thing. Sometimes it's a bit fiddly, but once you get going, it's fine.
Okay. You do it closer to the camera.
Yeah, should we do it again? I don't know if you could see that. Do you want to do it again?
Sure.
On the back. So we work on the back. Lily, you need to put it down, sweetie. Yes. Actually, yeah, this here,
So explain
here.
it then.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So fold again, flip it over, and then make a triangle like that. Is that okay?
More like that. Yeah.
And then fold it again, so make another triangle, so it becomes kind of like a half arrow, I guess. And then you can poke it through the lines that we cut earlier, and then pull it through the other way.
Is it possible with a bit more light, Michelle, maybe? It's
Yeah.
quite the denim.
Is it dark?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me get another light.
Even by the window or something might be quite good.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to see.
Oh, just do it over there.
Dark denim.
Yeah, it is. It's a very nice denim, actually.
Cool.
I'm just going to bring another light over. Thanks for being patient with us. It's a first digital workshop, so we've got a few things to work out. Okay. Okay, we're going to bring a little light in.
How's that?
Is that better?
It's still quite dark, I think.
Really?
Yeah, but
Is
maybe-
it possible to demonstrate it on a lighter fabric, just that folding bit?
maybe the back of the denim if you do it backwards.
Like that.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Is that good?
No, I think they can't see it. Okay, let me.
Oh, it said yes.
Oh, can you see it?
Very dark, but yes.
Can you see it?
If you focus.
Just do another one, but I think you need to make sure that the.
Yeah, I think we can see it. If you give us some detailing in terms of talking through while it's happening, I think it's quite clear. It's a bit dark, but it's fine.
Okay, all right. So basically, you've got to when you've made your little slits in the base, and then you have to fold it. Do the first fold. Actually, Lily, hold on. Okay, so the first fold is like a small little triangle, and then you fold back in. So you're creating like a larger, almost like a pyramid, and then you fold it again on itself. So you've done, this is the third fold, and then you pull it through the front. I don't know if that's very clear.
They said got it.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, can you grab that green piece? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you where the original concept came from, which is from a concept, a pin cushion I found probably 20 years in a market, and this is the actual pin cushion, and then basically translated this technique into the cuff. So you can sort of see it a little. It's got a different effect here, much softer, but it's exactly the same sort of technique. Just it has a different evolution and a different feel. This is probably from the 20s, I would say, something. But that sort of also shows you sort of process being changed into a different in a different way and used in it, basically interpreted and translated in a different way. I don't know if you can.
Made that, Michelle, that pin cushion?
No, I did not make this. No.
Would somebody have made it originally?
Yes, I bought it in a vintage market about 20 years ago. And I've had it for years. And I always loved the technique. So I basically transferred the technique. This is actually using crochet. I transferred this type of fabric manipulation and then worked with it in the cuffs. So it's a similar, it's basically a technique that I found. I think, as I said, it's from the 20s. That's what I reckon. And yeah. So it's just the same, shows you the same technique, but it looks very, very different. And this is much more rigid, obviously. In the denim, you've got a much more rigid. It almost becomes, it's quite structured and quite hard. Whereas this is quite soft and folding. I mean, it's also very old. So, but yes, it shows you how different it can actually look. So what I was going to show you as well was the finishing. I don't know if the folding is very clear. Are you clear with the folding?
Oh yeah, I think so. Sally Jackson on YouTube is asking what the weight of the denim is that you're using to fold.
This is actually a very fine denim. It's not a very thick denim. I mean, I don't know how to answer that in terms of microbes or microbes, not microbes, but actual weight. But it's actually very fine. It's quite drapey. In fact, if we look at it here, I can show you the way it moves. It's quite a nice denim. It actually feels like it's got linen in it because it's got a very kind of sharpness to it that you get in linen. It's very, very dry. It's actually really lovely. It's not as hard as a lot of denims, but it's really gorgeous. No stretch in this. It's a lovely, lovely denim. It's very, very nice, actually. Yeah. Because we're doing all the folding, it would be quite difficult if it was a really rigid denim. So we need it sort of almost to be a medium weight. A very hard denim would be really difficult just to pull through and just to work with, especially on this scale of 2 centimeters. So this is actually the perfect weight. It's really nice. Pieces I've done in the past, not in the denim. These are some of the ribbon pieces, and they're a lot thicker, and you can see it's got a much denser look, and it's got a texture. And these are the pieces that I've been doing for probably a decade now. These are sort of my sort of classic pieces, and these were all with ribbons that were end of line, etc., etc. Just ribbons that people aren't using anymore.
So what did that say? I just forgot to comment, but I didn't see what it said. Also, they asked where the base is from.
Oh, the base is made out of the base is made out of offcuts. If we show you these are offcuts from Alma. They're leather offcuts. You could use pineapple leather though if you wanted to, if you were vegan. But these are all from Alma, and Alma is a furniture company in East London that has a workshop nearby, and they have massive bins full of offcuts from that they don't use because they do furniture, and then you can buy them by the weight. You can buy bags of them. So if you actually look in my studio, all the bags on the top, all those bags are filled with leather offcuts that I use in my work. And of course, because we work in such a small scale, it's really easy to cut small pieces. And these are all from a furniture company, so you can imagine it works very, very well. And they have a great variety. I highly recommend it if you like to work with offcuts. It's a really great place to go. And you can walk around and pick out what you want. It's really great, good price, and they're just end of offcuts anyways, so they're great. And it works very well for a base.
Are there other fabrics you could use instead of leather, Michelle, as a base?
Absolutely, we can use fabrics. You could use a fabric. The problem with fabric is that you need to fuse it, and it's very difficult to cut. You need something that has body to it. So I would highly recommend, if you don't want to use skins or even offcuts, if that's not your thing, use pineapple leather or some of the alternatives is possible, because you need it to have body to hold it, and it needs to be it needs to have some kind of rigidity. If you do it, we have done it in fabric and it just falls apart. So that's one of the problems, and the fabric cuts get too small, and you can't use it basically. So
Michelle, can you just tell us a bit about, because your jewelry is really collectible, isn't it? You have people that are real, have collected your work for a long time.
Yes.
Can you talk about where you sell and how that's evolved?
Okay, so I basically use all kinds of materials, and I do you want to actually, you can cut this if you want. Yeah. I basically use all kinds of materials, and at the moment recently most of the places I've been selling is I've been doing project-based work. So I did a project for a museum in Holland based on the Golden Age, which we used vintage lace and offcuts as well. I did something a while ago for the V&A, and that was for the Fashion by Nature exhibition, and that was all in wood and using offcuts as well. I just did a collection. I love to do collaborations. I just did a collaborative project with a company, the Sustainable Sequin Company, which is recycled plastic. And we've just done a series of bags, which are also using offcuts. In fact, there's a box of some of the offcuts behind you. So we've done weavings with the offcuts, and this is, I can show you some of them actually. This is the latest project we've done, which is using these sequin. The sequins come out of here. This is recycled plastic, and then this is the bases left, which is from Rachel Close of the Sustainable Sequin Company. We've just done a bag collection on weaving with these, and a whole clutch bag collection. So, and I'm about to do a collection with a girl called the Seaweed Girl. So we're going to do a three-way project with seaweed, plastic, and myself, which should be really beautiful. We're going to do a jewelry collection. So it's quite eclectic. It's always using sustainable materials, and a lot of mostly upcycling and recycling. And that's why this project is really great, using the end of line denim, and also bringing out all the ribbons that we have, and the denim. I have all the materials except the denim, which is really gorgeous. So yeah. Should I show you any of the other techniques with the cuff, or are we? Should I show you the how to finish the ends, maybe?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is one of the pieces that that we've already folded, and we put the ribbon on. So it's already gone through, and as I said, I'm quite interested in having a really great finish. So we're just going to finish this. It's very, very simple. Just literally fold it under and pin it, and then sew it. Once this is set up, I'm going to do a little bit of gluing. Everything, all the edges, everything is finished really beautifully. The next step is to work with the plackets. These are the plackets that that we've sewn. So I'll just show you what's happening with the plackets and the way you want to finish it. So here's the small placket where the poppers are going to go, and I'm just going to put this inside like that. So this is the placket that is going to be here, basically. And see how this fabric is so beautiful to mold. It's just really nice fabric. Okay, so this is not going to be beautiful until I can get an iron and get it to the sewing machine, but I can give you the basic idea. I'm going to try and get that corner to come out a bit.
Michelle, just a couple of questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Kind of relevant for now, I think.
Yeah.
So Sheeta Jane is asking how you're going to secure the edges of the denim, because it's going to fray with time, she says.
These edges, I'm not going to secure the edges. I want it to fray. I like the way it is. It will only fray to a certain degree. And to be honest, I really like it. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to secure any of the edges on the denim. We're just going to leave it. To be honest, if it gets more frayed, it would be more beautiful. It won't come apart completely. So I know it's got a little bit of fraying, but I won't do any more on that. With the placket, obviously, the reason why we bagged it out is because I am worried about that I am worried about that. So with the placket, the way I did it here, you can see it here, is that I literally just sewed it on. So here's your placket, which is here. And I mean, this is a bit funky looking because I haven't pressed it and pulled it out properly. And I've done a top stitch as well. And now that if we finish this, on this piece, I actually put a little ribbon afterwards. So what I would do was I would pin this and stitch it there, stitch it through here and here. And then I would add a ribbon on top of here so that those edges don't show, which is denim and leather, by the way. It won't look as nice. And you can see on here, it looks quite cute as part of the design. It's very sweet.
So you just hand stitch those edges?
No, with this, which edges? Sorry, which edges?
Sorry, the placket. Would you just hand stitch that onto the cuff?
I would do it by machine. If you have a machine, I would, because also you're going through leather and denim, which is quite hard. So I would do it by machine across here. And then in this case, I also did a small ribbon. So you can see it in the back, the little that holds it. And then I hand stitched all around it to hold it. But basically, this is the part that's holding it very securely, so that you have a placket that goes across. So you're hiding it, and you're going to do your other placket, which is sewn here. And then if I show Lily, if I can have your wrist for a minute, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. So if I have Lily show me her wrist, like this, actually, like that. So if you can see, just do like that. That will be sewn there. And then we'll have the other placket here, which will also be sewn here. And then you can kind of work out your poppers as well. If you have somebody work, oh, sorry, am I sticking a pin in you?
No.
Sorry. Okay, so once you've got your placket secured, you can then work out have somebody help you and then work out where your poppers go. And you can do that by hand. So I would recommend this done by machine, just to secure it. And then you've got some leverage on your sizing. And then you can it's easier. Sorry, thank you, Lily. But it is good to work on the machine as well, to mix them, just because this is going to give you security and hold it a lot tighter and be a bit more professional. So it looks better like that. And then I put the ribbon just to hide the edge because it's not so nice. But in terms of the denim, I think it looks really great when it's falling apart. We've got quite a few. This one, we've actually used the edge, the selvage with the fringe, which I love. So that will be part of the design as well. If you can just give me your list again, just so I can show.
So you're using all the bits of the denim?
We're using all the bits. I love the fringe. It's really cute. It's almost quite, I don't know. It looks almost, it's actually a Norwegian ribbon, but it almost looks Navajo or something in my head. It's very pretty with a little fringe. It's very cute. A bit hippy dippy as well.
Yeah,
but it's
nice. Tudor as well, I'm thinking.
What's that?
A bit Tudor.
Yes, of course, a bit Tudor as well. So let me show you the one that Lily's working on. So this one, if we look at almost being done, can I look at your wrist as well? Sorry, yeah. So just let me do that. So if so this is nice because it's got a bit of a silver edging, which we did. And then you can see they've all got a sort of a different feeling just because of the ribbon. And so the denim changes every time. And it gives a different kind of vibe, really. So,
and there's a question as well from Mayhem Mancad, who's asking how you lock this technique. Will it stay as it is?
Yes, it will.
How you lock the folds?
It just stays. As I said, I've been doing that for 10 years. I've never had anything come undone. So yeah, it just locks by itself. It does it. You don't really have to do anything. It just is there. I think with this one, this was the original one I found. I mean, this one's quite soft, but still this is really old and it's just stayed in there. I mean, obviously this doesn't have as much wear, but these just stay. It just stays. It's quite firm. They don't go anywhere. Yeah, it's quite a good technique actually. And I've done collars, I've done headpieces, massive sort of paniers around the hips, all using the same technique in various different materials and fabrics, and it does stay. It does stay. So it's a fairly interesting technique to experiment with. Yeah. And really it's just about getting the finish and making it look nicely finished. That's why with the placket I did it, as I said, by machine, because it gives it a much nicer finish. Although I did the hand sewing on top because I like the way the hand sewing looks. I think you can tell that it's hand sewn. I don't think you should hide that. I think you should sort of celebrate. The poppers are quite cute actually, because they're quite because everyone knows that they're put on by hand as well. So I mean, so with this you've got some things that are by machine, but you've got a lot of handwork, so it's quite nice to sort of celebrate that as well, because it is crafted. It does take time. It is a fairly slow process while we've been doing this. I think Lily's done one side. She's really quick, quicker than I am. That's why she's doing it. But but it's a fairly nice effect for such a simple technique. And Hattie's over there doing more cutting. Thank you very much. Excellent. Yeah, wonderful. That's brilliant. And we'll do some more folding with that. These ones I'm gonna sew on the machine. I don't know if you want to see that. I can do a couple of these on the machine. Pass that one to you.
Can I just ask you one thing?
Yeah,
Have I
yeah.
done it? I need to do that one there, don't I?
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I wanted
Yes,
to check.
yes. What Hattie asked was about on the bases, we left a little gap here so that when you do your placket, you have enough space to do a ribbon and to have it attach. So that we started fairly far in. Also, so that when you put on the body, if I put this on, I'll just put it on Lily again because she's in front of me. And it's easier to show on somebody else than me. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's a little bit loose on her, but the thing is that it's quite flat on the. If you turn it around, it's quite this is the part against your body. It's quite nice because you're with your arm down. It's quite flat. So that's why we've got a nice space. It's a great place where you can to put your attachment and also to have it adaptable to your size. And these are the plackets. I can show you how these are sewn. And then if there's any other questions, let me just show you how this is sewn. I'm going to bring the machine, the light around.
So
Yeah, I'll just another couple of questions while you're doing.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're interested in your background. How did you get into making accessories, and why the ethical interest?
Okay, so I got into accessories. Can you hear me, or should I turn the machine off? I got into accessories. I did ready to wear for 10 years. And in 2009, I was mentored by the Center for Sustainability. They had a big program where they were asking designers to come in and start to look at ethical causes. That was 2009. So I decided then that I would look into recycling. Part of it was practical because I had so much stuff, and also because it is a real interest, and because I had a love of vintage, a love of craft. I had so many materials, and it just started to make sense. Why are we not using what we already have rather than recreating? Really, my mindset started going towards the ethical and the sustainable, and it really suited all of the things, aesthetic and making and craft, all of the things that I felt were important. So accessories were the natural growth because they're small. I mean, they're small, but they're actually really hard to make. So the amazing thing is you'd have a whole rail of clothing and you'd have a small bag of accessories, but the accessories actually took more time and more work than the whole rail of clothing. They're quite hard because the finish is quite difficult. But I really loved it because I loved the details. So the details itself became the design, and that made a lot more sense for me. And then as we went along, it's just something that I really love. I think it's really great because it allows to explore materials and to reuse materials, and also to do collaborations, but also to expand the craft, which is really, really great. I love the hand making and the craft, and of course accessories are all about that. So I think it ticks every box. And so I've been doing it now for 10 years, which I sort of can't believe. And that cuff that we're doing today is I've been doing for 10 years, which is kind of reflective and amazing, especially in this coronavirus time when we're all thinking reflectively these days. So yeah, that's the I think I've answered that.
What are your reflections? What are you hoping post this coronavirus, post this lockdown? How have you been thinking about it?
How have I been thinking about it? gosh, there's so many things to think about, isn't there? I guess we're all looking at how things are going to change, aren't they? Or if they're going to change. I guess there's a lot of questions that we're all asking. Are they actually going to change? Are they going to stay? Are we going to be more sustainable? Are we just going to go back to the same what we've been doing? It certainly is a once in a lifetime moment, isn't it? It's incredible. Incredible that the whole world is going through it at the same time, and the fact that we're all reflecting and looking, it gives us a pause and a moment to look all around and to look at what we have done, what we are doing, and if we can change, and which of course I hope we can. Lots of things, but of course I'm in fashion, so that's one of the areas, you know, we can't consume the way we have, for example. We just can't, and that's really interesting that we're being forced not to do it. So it's challenging us and realizing that we can do that. So and lots of great things like sense of community, like these, like digital online things. It's actually been amazing that we've all been able to, we can all do these kinds of things right now. We couldn't do this in a normal scenario. So yeah, it's a really, actually it's exciting, it's positive in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I love that Fashion Revolution's able to be there with you in your studio.
Oh, good, thank you. Yeah. So the other thing we're doing, by the way, is we're hoping that we can sell the cuffs that we make, and we're doing a donation with Action Aid, and we're going to be selling the pieces for Action Aid as well. So that's what we're doing after this, by the way. So we're hopefully raise a little bit of money that way as well. And I believe we're focusing on Action Aid Bangladesh, which in particular has been really affected by the coronavirus as well. And as a lot of the women are main bread owners, I think it's having from Action Aid is saying it's having a horribly profound effect on people who work in factories, etc., etc. So we're hoping that we can sell these as well. That's the aim.
That's great. Will that be from your website, Michelle?
Yes, we're doing our website and through my Instagram. Yes, so we're going to have a donation link there at the moment. We've had the link for this program, but that's what we're going for. So,
so you're going to carry on little production line today?
Yes, we're going to. Let's go back to the table.
Yeah.
We're going on production line. We've got. I've got Hattie and Lily and my son all roped in to help, which is great. They've, which is amazing that they volunteered to come along today to help. Yeah, so Hattie's doing my bases, and Lily is the master of folding at the moment. My son has got the camera, so if it's whizzing around, tell him to stop. And we hope to finish them, do a bunch more. We've got lots of bases now from Hattie. Thank you very much. And we're hoping to do a bunch of them and to sell them for, as I said, for Action Aid Bangladesh.
Someone asked
yes.
How long it takes to make one cuff.
Oh, very good question. It depends who's doing it. If it's me, it takes forever. Lily's quite quick, actually. So I prepared the base. Okay, so Hattie's been doing the bases. How long do you reckon the base has been taking you?
Maybe 10 minutes to cut.
Okay, so the base, so Hattie says about 10, cut it 10-15 minutes to cut the base.
You're very precise. You don't cut too wide.
Yes.
Otherwise, the origami will slip through. So you have to be very precise. Which is the same with all handmade.
Yes, she's absolutely right. Everything does need to be precision. Absolutely. And so Lily's done this. We started at I think she started at 1, so she's going to finish probably at 2. So maybe about an hour. But of course, don't get me wrong, she's been practicing, so yeah. Don't let her fool you.
Are there instructions, Michelle? Is there something that people can download after this session where they can?
We can make that available. Yeah, we can make that available. Sure.
That would be amazing. Where we can share it from Fashion Open Studio, and
okay.
And can people tag you on Instagram?
Yes, my Instagram is just my name, Charlotte Holder.
Okay.
And then to complete the question, by the way, the piece so it's about maybe an hour if you practice really, really well. And then obviously there's the plackets that need to go on, which, as you can see, if I show Lily the placket here, which is then turned, and then the hand sewing of the poppers, which takes a little bit of time actually. So I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours, depending on how quick you are. Of course, you have to work on the designs beforehand. So we did take time actually to pick out all the ribbons and the colors and everything. So that does take a bit of time, but that's a pleasure to do, of course.
Okay, we've got to wrap up in a minute. Michelle, how much are you selling those for?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think we'll be doing it by donation. I'm really bad. Now my son's laughing at me like, oh my God. Yeah, not very professional, I'm afraid. So I'm not sure what we're going to sell.
Okay, we'll wait.
Sorry about that. You got me on the spot there.
We'll wait and see. Well, yeah, we're going to leave you to it, making those amazing cuffs. Thank you so much, Michelle. And
thank you.
And Lily and Cameron. You've been
Patty.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks so much, Tamsin. Thank you.
thanks.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Michelle.
See you again.